Now listen to all those birdies. As I just posted in real time on my Patreon page, I shared a clip of this and made mention that this is one of my favoriteest things about boating and cruising. Well, cruising and getting away is that places like this are so peaceful, so quiet. We're fully immersed in nature. Don't hear car stereos and stupid radio commercials for Ford F-150s and all the other stuff that drives me nuts. This is so gorgeous, so peaceful, so beautiful. It's going to be another spectacular day, it looks like. Well, that was a pleasant evening as we are now at 8:15 in the morning, and we are heading away from our overnight destination.
Coast Guard 45758, the first station LCBO, and here 16, over.
Wow. That sounded like U.S. Coast Guard on the radio. Shows you how close we are to Lake Ontario. Anyways, yeah, it was a pleasant night overnight at our location where we were at Lock 8. And now it is 8:15 in the morning, and we are off for an early departure as we continue onwards. It's probably going to take about an hour and a half, I'm guessing, to get to the next lock, and it should be about 6 hours in total. At least that's what it was last time we did this in 2014 with the big boat. 6 hours to get to Trenton, so around 2:30 or so that we should be getting there would be a good time, 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then we get to hook up to shore power, and tomorrow I can start editing some of these videos and get them out to you. But again, it is a dead, flat, calm day. It's a little bit of overcast off in the distance, but just the right amount, so it's not too bright in my eyes. It gives me a headache, the sunshine. So here we are, going again. Now yesterday we were following pretty much all day these folks ahead of us. They got a 310 Sundancer and cruising, 7 to 8 knots. Now this morning when we left, There's a boat ahead of them, and he left about 5 minutes before all of us. And he is slowed down to a snail's crawl. We are doing 4 knots now, which is no good. We're an hour and a half, like I said, to the next destination. At this speed, it's going to be 3 hours. So I'm just going to find a spot. We're in a kind of narrow area. Once we get through this little river section, definitely going to pass this guy. Otherwise, we'll be all freaking day to get to where we got to be, and probably wouldn't even get there at this speed. Looks to be our first looper of the day. Even if they're not flying the AGLCA Burgee, you can usually spot them because they got those big, fat, round fenders on the side of the boat.
Unless it's from Toronto.
Unless it's from Toronto.
Lately those too.
We were able to pass that fellow. So we are back up to about 7 knots, almost twice our speed, because he was slowing right down to 4 knots, and even less, I was down at idle speed at one point. But anyways, we're just passing a small community called Germantown. I thought I heard Wagner playing. An incredible amount of fish jumping this morning. I guess just because it's so calm you can see them, but just in that last half a mile I probably saw a dozen or more fish jumping. And yes, fishing is quite a popular pastime around these parts, as you can imagine. No, I don't fish myself, never got into it. I had a fishing license years ago, but that was basically just so our daughter could fish under my license when she was young. Never into it. But I can see why it's so popular here. There's so many billions and trillions of bugs that come out in the evening. It's definitely a good and constant food source for the fishy wishies.
Not for my eyes.
Okay, what was that?
I said not for my eyes though. The bugs aren't good for my eyes.
Why?
Because they bug out.
Because you're allergic to them.
That's tricky.
And sometimes it looks like I've
You beat me.
socked you in the face a couple of times because your eyes swell so badly. But still, again, another fantabulous, gorgeous summer day. Oh, what was that other thing you just read to me on the interwebs?
Oh, Ontario, the LCBO seems to be running out of alcohol.
The horror. Now remember again, my American friends, the LCBO here in Ontario stands for the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, so that the government can control our alcohol intake. Well, actually not really, they just want to control the revenue and make the big money off that.
I don't know why they're running out.
So the LCBO apparently is running short of alcohol, but I'm going to guess that's just a bunch of hype. They probably are running low on certain brands and certain styles of booze, but overall I'm sure they're well stocked. Except for my bloody Corona Light. You know, here again in Ontario, most of the beer comes through
It's a delay in delivery.
land delivery. Most of the beer is sold through the beer store. However, the government is broadening that, making it more available for in even grocery stores. Hold on, just a second. But if you buy it from the grocery stores, it's quite a bit more money, so people mostly tend to just keep buying it from the beer store. However, all imported beer in Ontario has to come through via the LCBO. So the LCBO imports all imported booze, beer into the province and then disperses the beer through the beer store and other retail locations. So more often than not, when I, or mostly Anchor Girl, goes to do my beer run to get my Corona Light, they are out because they just say
That's because they have.
the liquor store hasn't shown up this week.
It's a summer dry spell. Many LCBOs are struggling to refill their shelves thanks to problems with new warehouse management system. So it says, while some interruption in service was expected, deliveries remain moving at a slower than usual pace. The statement issued. There's no inventory shortage, but
Right.
rather a delay in delivery.
There you
So
go.
that's why they haven't been getting your beer,
Yeah.
because it comes through the LCBO, right?
Right. Even when we were stopped 2 days ago in Peterborough, and I had to go out and buy my new batteries, since that entailed a cab ride, I figured, you know what, while the cab's here and I don't have to walk far with it, I'll just go into the beer store. And they had only 2 cases. Well, they had 4 12-packs, so they sell it to you at the cost. 2 12, same as a 2 4. And so, yeah, I'll grab them. So I brought them back, and Anchor Girl says I still had 4 cases on the boat or something like that. But, yes, I don't want to run out. This stuff ain't going to go bad. If I don't drink it on this trip, they probably will. Then, you know, it's good for after, post 2019 Epic Boat Cruise. So that's a little bit of history and learning for you guys about the woeful tales of buying booze and beer here in Ontario. One more thing I want to say. The LCBO does not import Corona Light in cans. Corona Extra comes in cans, but not the Corona Light. I guess it's just not as popular as the real stuff. So, slow down here a little bit. Yeah, so no Corona Light cans, and they're not importing Corona Premier here yet either in Ontario. Don't know why. And before you start grabbing for your keyboards to tell me, oh, don't drink that Corona Light, it's crap, there's so many better beers, I'm not listening. I drink Corona because it is gluten-free, it's not listed, it's not deemed gluten-free, but it is. And I like the light because then I don't have to put a lime in it, and it's lighter, and I enjoy it. So that's what I'm drinking, and that's what I'm gonna keep drinking. So like I say, I've read all the comments on Facebook. Oh man, that beer's crap. There's so many better beers. All right, whatever. I'm gonna keep drinking the Corona Light and enjoying it, which I do. Okay, we are coming up on Lock 7, Glen Ross Lock, the lock that Anchor Girl so affectionately refers to as the golfing lock, simply because the first time we came through here in 2006, we were at the bottom of the lock waiting for quite a long time for the lock staff to actually pay attention to the fact that there was boaters coming through, because they were chipping shots with their golf clubs at the top side of the lock before they finally, oh look at that, there's boats that want to come through. So that was funny. The golfing lock. No. And it looks like we're going to be, yeah, it looks like we're going to be passing by a couple of more looper boats, as well as there's a old railway bridge, which I believe is in the fixed open position. And it looks like we're here just in time, because obviously the top of the lock is now open. So we should be able to just get right on in. Thank you. We'll see you on the way back. Thanks a lot. Well, as we approach the top side of Lock 6, we had just passed by a fellow YouTuber whose name we recognized. The boat is called Slow Bells, and so I gave him a shout out, and this is how that conversation went. Give a quick shout out to a fellow YouTuber that we just passed. Slow Bells, Slow Bells, Slow Bells. This is Boogaboo, Boogaboo on 16. Do you read over?
Boogaboo, this is Slow Bells.
Roger, Slow Bells, switch and answer 22, over.
Switching 22 Alpha. Boogaboo, Slow Bells.
Yeah, Slow Bells. This is Paul from Boogaboo. I just want to give a real quick shout out. I am a follower of your channel, and we are watching with keen interest your travels on the Great Loop, as that is something that we're looking forward to doing ourselves in the coming years. Over.
Oh, that's very cool. I hope you can do it.
Well, with all the loopers that we're passing on this trip and that we see every year coming through the Trent Severn Waterway, it's very inspiring. Over.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed it, both the American side and the Canadian side so far.
Anyways, I'm going to let you go. Again, I just want to give a quick shout out from the Boogaboo crew, and if you get a chance, check out my channel, Boating with Boogaboo. Over.
I will do that, and thanks very much for the call. Slow Bells is back to 16.
Roger that. Boogaboo return to 16. That was kind of cool. It is Slow Bells, if I'm not mistaken. His channel is Seattle Boat Guy. Anyways, I'll leave a link down in the description. You can check it out for yourself. He is traveling, as I mentioned, through the Great Loop and started in the Carolinas, if I'm again not mistaken, and he's up this way and through. I'm going to carry on, so you can check it out as well. Just some interesting scenery and some insights from traveling the Great Loop. Now clearly, unless you have not been following along, this is slow driving through this whole stretch of the Trent Severn Waterway. There's a couple areas that you could open it up, but by the time you get up on plane, you just have to drop right back down again. So really not worth it. We're doing 7-8 knots for most of the way. We're just doing 5 right now, because I know we are going to pass through this narrow passage here, and then soon followed by the lock, or maybe a quarter of a mile. So Lock 6 here at Frankfurt is one of the unique ones because it offers shore power. At least we stayed here on our way back home in 2014 with the big boat. The lockmaster at the last lock was saying, telling the neighboring boat that this place has been full pretty much every day for the last week by 11 o'clock in the morning, simply because there is shore power. It's been so hot, so people want to plug in and turn on their air conditioners. Don't blame them. We did that the other night. We do that 2 nights so far on this trip. Got to places where there was shore power so we can have AC. On purpose. See shore power for, ooh, what the hell's that? Giant turtle? What? Snapping turtle? Come up for air right in front of us. Hope I didn't hit him.
I didn't hear it.
No, didn't hear a clunk, so we didn't hit him. That's a good thing.
With him, you would have heard a clunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's his head up.
A clunk, a dunk, a dunk. No sooner do we exit Lock 6 that we can already see the wall at Lock 5, right there. And here come the loopers. I think we're going to pass all of them on this trip.
I think so. Are they racing?
Yeah, it looks like that.
It's the battle of the tugs and the trawlers.
Yeah, Roger, Ellie man, this is go to channel 22, over. This Boogaboo on the side of 22, go ahead, Ellie man.
We're following you guys on YouTube. Kind of wondering if we were going to pass you.
Roger, that's awesome. Sorry, I was just have to throttle back here a little bit. Yeah, glad to have you following along, and just commenting to my lovely wife that I think we're going to pass all the loopers this season, over.
You're going to pass a lot of them. Yeah, when I saw you coming, I thought that was Anchor Girl on the foredeck. Thought I recognized her.
Did you hear that? Indeed, Anchor Girl. Who else would I be traveling with?
Yeah, roger that. Hey, you guys have a good trip.
You too, and enjoy your time here in Ontario. This is Boogaboo going back to 16. Thanks for the shout out. Over.
Roger that. Now they back 16.
Now, as we get closer to Trenton, two things are going to show up. It's going to become more industrial, and we're going to see more of these guys as the Trenton Air Force Base is right beside where we're going to be staying at mile 0. So we'll see more of those. Anyways, lock 2, second last lock. Now, if you recall, just when we were leaving Peterborough a few days ago in real time, and we passed under the Highway 7 bridge, which I said was one of 2 major east-west arteries. Well, this one here is the 401 highway, Provincial Highway 401, and it is a major highway, comparable to a major interstate down the States. Now, in this area, along this stretch, is also known as the Highway of Heroes, because the aforementioned Trenton Air Force Base is location where Canadian troops who have fallen in battle because we are serving alongside the coalition forces in Afghanistan, and anybody who is lost through their service to the country is repatriated back to that Trenton Air Force Base, and of course taken by that highway, which has been renamed the Highway of Heroes, to their hometowns. And any time that happens, it's a real solemn occasion day, and most of the overpasses are filled with people holding Canadian flags, saluting, and whatever else. So, Highway of Heroes. And there's a song by a Canadian group titled the same thing, and it's a very touching song, Highway of Heroes. Look it up. We are approaching lock 1, which is going to be our final lock of this leg of the journey, and once we are at the bottom of that, then it's under a few bridges, and then we are going to be in Trenton proper, and of course staying at Trent Port Marina. So lock 1 of the Trent Severn Waterway. Now you can say you've been here too. There's our first glimpse of the extreme high water levels here on Lake Ontario, where the water's right over the wall on this forward section here, close to the lock. Thank you. Yeah, have a good one, guys. Definitely super high water levels. I'll show you what this scene looked like when we came here 5 years ago, just for reference. Now this bridge that crosses the Trent River here is called the Veterans Bridge, but I always refer to it as the Gateway Bridge. You'll see why as soon as we get on the other side. Oops. Great little restaurant here, right next to the bridge. Tommaso's, ate there in the past. Very good, huge portions. Try the steak. Okay, this is virtually new ground to us, friends, because that right there where it says fueling station, that is the old Fraser Park Marina, and that's where we stayed the last couple of times. No longer the marina, it's just the gas dock, pump out, and the new marina is right there, and that's where we're heading into.
Thank you.
Oh, where the kids are.
Call me once you're ready. Bugaboo, Bugaboo, this is your dock staff here waiting for you.
Roger, thank you. Coming right in.
Is there a current? There is a current? Yes. There's a current. Not a strong one today, but it'll help you today.
So as you can see, we made it successfully. Nice landing here at slip number I-24 at Trent Port Marina. Shore power hooked up, turned on. Now I just got to run up to the office and register.
I'll get the insurance too.
And yes, for the first time ever in our 20 plus years of boating, we've been asked to show proof of insurance, like physical proof of insurance, as well as our registration numbers. So
You don't
whatever.
want the Sea-Doo, right?
No, we don't need the insurance papers for the Sea-Doo because we don't have that with us today. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to get back to you later this afternoon. I'm going to try, but I can't promise. I'm going to show you around a little bit right now first, but just in case I don't, because our neighbor who we've been traveling with for the last couple of days, we've been following them, they've been following us. We've both spent the same a night at our last destination. They just pulled in right beside us here immediately after us, and he suggested that we celebrate with an ice cold beer because we've made it to Trenton. So you may hear me saying see you later, see you again, and cheers and all that crap twice, but I'm going to do it right now just in case. Hoo-ha, we made it. Third time in Trenton. Third time's a charm. Love it. Okay, we'll see you again. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll subscribe so you don't miss any of the new boating videos coming out. You can also check out daily content on my Facebook and Instagram pages, so have a look at that. Now, if you'd like to support the channel a little bit more, check out my Patreon page to see how easy it is for you to help. And of course, you can head over to my main site at boatingwithboogaboo.com to find out all sorts of fun stuff. So again, thanks for following along, thanks for subscribing, thanks for supporting the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers. gentleman right beside us, he celebrated.